I will. Hey, Facebook, happy Monday. Guess who's back? 24 hours later.
We're right
in your
We're
ear.
ready to go.
We're in your ear. I'll
That's
put
right.
them off for less, so we have some notes for today.
Because we need
I already have it because I send a link from the Mouse for Less with every one of my quotes.
good for you.
My Resort Hotels FAQ.
Nicely done. I much appreciate.
Yep, I like that. I love the pictures. Oh, I love the pictures of Coronado. I can't wait to be there. 3 days. 3
Good
days.
for you. I do not have 3 days.
Dude.
It's all right.
Yeah, but I've been getting killed by Scott. He's been sending back pictures. Today he sent one of a margarita sitting by the pool.
Nice. That's awesome.
He had chicken guy today too. He said
I saw that. Yeah. I still haven't done chicken guy yet. Like that's one of them that I haven't been to. And I need to go. I know. I really need to get over there. But there's so many new restaurants lately. It's hard to keep up.
No doubt.
And then, I have to go to the same ones with, that Brian loves too. So first world problems, right?
Hey, Nancy. Hope everything's going good down in Dallas. 32 days for James and Anthony's back. I know we're habit forming. We'll give you tomorrow night off, everybody. No podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
No podcast tomorrow. We promise.
Tomorrow night, Mallory's got a private and it's Texas Roadhouse night. So.
I told you they just built a new Texas Roadhouse like right by my house, right?
Oh, dude, your property value just went up.
I know, right? It's insane. I went there a couple nights ago because I got a massage and then I wanted something to eat because Brian went out with his buddies. So I was like, it sounds like a really good dinner for me to celebrate me. Yes, Texas Roadhouse. That sounds awesome.
On today's show, you're going to have to help us out, guys, in the chat. You're going to give us some comments here because we're going to be talking about the moderate resorts. But here's 3 reasons why Texas Roadhouse rocks. 1, it's cheap. It's pretty cheap.
Yes.
For a sit-down. 2, you get peanuts. As soon as you sit down, if you're hungry, you don't have to wait for your food. 3,
unless you're allergic to peanuts, and then that's a bad thing.
I mean, you don't go there if you're allergic to peanuts. But I mean, you got 2 appetizers for free sitting at your table.
No, you get the bread too. You get that bread.
Yeah. I mean, so if you're starving when you sit down, you have to wait 20 minutes for your food to come out because, like, by the time you scarf down the rolls and the peanuts, you're already full. Tonight's Taco Bell. Yeah, tonight's Taco Bell. Tomorrow night's
not for Ricky. It's not Taco Bell night. I promise. Ricky won't be eating Taco Bell.
140 days, almost there. Hey, Craig, Courtney. All right, let's do this. Alfred. Yep, it has Texas. Okay, and the butter is so wheat.
Oh yes,
it's sweet honey butter, I think, or something.
It is. It's delicious.
All right, the show's not actually brought to you by Texas Roadhouse, but it should.
It is not, but we should totally have them sponsor our podcast. Dear Texas Roadhouse, we love you.
Yes,
love Mike and Ricky. Please sponsor our podcast.
Justin is exactly right. Texas Roadhouse salads, like the house salad, is
dude. I don't even eat salad ever. Like I never eat salad. I always get the Texas Roadhouse salad.
God bless that salad.
Always get their salad. Oh my gosh.
That salad is the bomb. Oh. And Pam back. We got something going on. We can't go. Like, no. We're going.
We're going.
Yep. All right, here we go. Let's do this. So
there's something wrong with us, Mike.
So I got to tell you, we're doing the Friday show now because the Wednesday show we did last night.
Right.
So pay attention. This coming Wednesday show was last night. This is going to be Friday show, and then we're going to, after this one, do next Wednesday show because I'm not getting back till late Monday when we usually record from Princess. So everybody keep your flow chart moving.
We definitely need a flow chart.
Hang on. I'm banning Josh from the chat. He is not a fan of the cinnamon butter. Out of here, buddy.
Up. Yep. Sorry, Josh. You're out.
Yep, out. And Mark's watching from Bay Lake Tower.
Well, he's winning. Mark is definitely winning. Yeah.
So many people down there right now. So many. 3 days for me. Okay, let's do this. Let's pretend.
I have to go back home this weekend, so I don't get to go down.
Yeah, I'll send you pictures.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
Yeah, I will. Okay, I'll send them from the corrals at like 4 a.m. on Saturday. Let's see here. Yeah, it's already Friday. Okay, so I get these numbers right because it's 1450. All right. Welcome to episode 1450 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you and welcome to Princess Half Marathon Weekend 2019. Good luck to all the lizards who are getting ready to head out to the corrals and run those magical races. 5K, 10K, and half marathons on the agenda for this weekend. It's looking like the temperature is going to be hot, so stay cool and hydrate out there on the course. It's going to be a warm one, but you know what? That means your legs are going to be loose. You're not going to be shivering in the corrals.
That's nice.
Don't complain. Just have fun and slow down and drink lots of water and Powerades. We're going to have a good time. I can't wait to be down there. I'm there right now, Coronado Springs, hanging out. So if you see me, please come by and say hello, because that's why we're here. But today we have a great show for you. Of course, we're not going to leave you hanging without a podcast. So joining me today, who unfortunately, well, right now, she says she's not going to be at Walt Disney World. That could change. Who knows?
No, it actually will not.
Not that he wasn't going to Marathon Weekend either, and all of a sudden, boom, Saturday he was at
I have a baptism to go to in Jefferson City, Missouri. I'm not going to be down there. When you're the godparent of the child being baptized, you are not going to be able to make that down there.
Of course, it's a lifelong commitment. So that's Ricky. She is from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. Safe flight to Jeff City. Tell me, State.
Thank you. Yes. I'm headed back to Missouri, and yes, I get to meet my brand new niece, which I'm very excited about. So that's good. And yeah, Brian and I are going to be her godparents. So we get to go through all that this weekend. So that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Unfortunately, not down in Florida and not where it's warm. So we went the wrong way.
They named you guys the godparents on purpose? I mean,
I know, right? Do they know what they're doing? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they named it. we already named godparents. So that poor little girl.
You can't take that back, right? I don't know, because we don't do godparents. Us Baptists. I don't think Baptists do that. I don't think I have any godparents, at least. I don't know. And I'm not anybody's godparent that I know of. So,
I mean, this will be the first for me. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, but hey, why not?
Right.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, today's show, we're going to have some fun talking about, the big question that we have as the title of the show is why a moderate? And so, of course, you are a Disney fan, or maybe you're just kind of getting into Walt Disney World, planning a first vacation down to Central Florida. And if you're staying on property at Walt Disney World divides their hotels into four major categories. You have the value resorts, the moderate resorts, the deluxe resorts, and the deluxe villa accommodations. And basically, if you want to kind of boil it down to the simplest common factor, it's based on price,
Yes.
as far as those categories, but also there's a lot of other factors that go into that. One is amenity level. Another is room size. Another is proximity to a theme park. Another thing to consider is transportation options outside of a bus. So there's a lot of things to think about. But when I go to Walt Disney World, at least over the last few years, we tend to always go after the moderate resorts lately. So we're going to be talking today about, why is a moderate the right choice for some trips? It's not going to be the right choice for every trip, but it is for a lot of trips. And we'll be diving into that today and just talking about what are the pros and cons of thinking about a moderate. Maybe if you're looking at a value, maybe you want to look up to a moderate, because there are some great deals, especially Coronado Springs right now with, they're finishing up the construction, but they're still offering some great deals on AP offers. I mean, I could have stayed this weekend at Music, but I think I'm paying about $12 a night more in an AP offer to stay at Coronado in a standard. So, I mean, that was a no-brainer for me. So I'm really excited. I'm at Coronado this weekend. I'll be posting lots of pictures from there. So, Ricky, let's dive into this. So today we're going to be talking about Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs, and the Port Orleans resorts. And, of course, we can talk about the cabins, too. Those are kind of outliers.
Yes, definitely.
When I first brought up this show topic of why a moderate, what popped into your head?
The thing that popped into my head about the moderates is they really are incredibly themed. And they're incredibly themed well for the money. I mean, I know, don't get me wrong. I love the theming of, Pop Century. I mean, that is one of my favorite resorts to go to. I love the big, larger than life, statues that are there and everything like that. And it's like, that's my home, that's always been my home. But the moderates really do, for the money that you're spending, the amount of theming that you get there is, incredible. It really is so fantastic. It is along the lines of many of the deluxe resorts, especially with a lot of the, refurbishment work they've been doing a lot lately. Especially like when you look at the work that they've done at Caribbean Beach and everything they've done there. the theming at these resorts is just so fantastic. And so that's really what I think of when I think of the moderate resorts is theming for price is right on the money.
Yeah, when you're comparing, so we're going to kind of compare like moderates to values and moderates to deluxe is kind of because they're bookended. Obviously, they're in the middle. And, I'm fine. Like you said, we grew up going to Pop Century, and I could stay at Pop Century every trip and still be a happy camper because it is a great place to stay. And it offers a great value, especially with the remodeled rooms. They're efficient. They're cool looking. I mean, they're not as over the top, hit you in the head on the inside of the room, Disney as they used to be, but they're still pretty fun. And I like the bed coming out of the wall. Because it's unique. You're not going to do that at your house. So it's kind of fun. But I will say that, you got to look at, you're paying extra for the moderate. So what are you getting when you're thinking about, like I said, I had music booked. I moved up to Coronado. I'm thinking about, okay, it was like $15-$12. I can't remember exactly a night more. What am I getting for that incremental price increase? So I thought about it. And with Coronado, one, and this is just me, but the moderate resorts for me as a runner have really outstanding places to run. So Coronado is a great runners resort. So are both of the Riverside and French Quarter, great resorts to run. Caribbean Beach is big and it's a decent place to run. I haven't stayed there in the last few years, but I will be getting back soon. So that gave me a chance to, instead of, I've run at the All-Stars. I'll run between all three of them and make a little path, but I like running at the moderates, but also on-site dining. Maya Grill is one of my top restaurants anywhere on property, and it's going to be right there at my home resort. So if I decide to dine there, it's easy to walk back to my room. No problem. I don't have to go anywhere. I will also say with Coronado Springs, it is in a great location. And I've said this many times that I used to look at maps and say, oh, Coronado Springs is an Animal Kingdom resort. So it must be way out there because that's kind of the perception. But when you look at it, you're right on that corner of World Drive, and you're right across the street from the studios. I mean, you are right there, and so you're right next to Epcot too. You're right down World Drive from Magic Kingdom and Epcot. So you're in a great spot, and you have Animal Kingdom not too far away either. So I love how quick you can get to the parks from Coronado. Riverside, boom, right there with Old Key West. It's right there by Epcot. So you're getting great locations. You're getting on-site dining. You're getting a larger room, and these new rooms at Coronado Springs are incredible. I love them. They feel very deluxe, like you said, Ricky. I mean, I love it. And, so those are some of the reasons. I still have a few more, but, let's kind of take you down that rabbit hole. Like when it comes to paying $20, $30, because sometimes, if you're not catching a discount, it can be $20, $30, $40 a night more. When does that come into play? Because like I'm going solo, I'm the only one in the room. So this would have been a good time to stay in a value because I don't need the space, but I mean, $12, $15 a night. And I'm only going to go for 3 or 4 nights. It's not that big a deal.
Right. No, I think that if you are looking for a little bit more of a relaxing vacation, I definitely think that the moderates are going to be a good choice for you to consider versus the values. The values are definitely a little more frenetic. They're a little more go, and you definitely feel that when you're in that main hall area where the food court is and the shopping is and the check-in desk is and everything is just right there. I mean, there's nothing else. There's nowhere else to go to. It's all in that main central hub. So I feel like it's definitely a little more hectic at the value resorts. And so if you're looking for kind of a little more laid back approach, I feel like the moderates definitely give that to you, especially somewhere at, the Port Orleans resorts. Just totally takes you to a different place. I mean, really takes you to a different place at both of those resorts. And plus you're on the Sassagoula River. And I mean, how can you get more relaxing than watching boats float by you on the river? I mean, that just screams relaxation to me. So the relaxation at these resorts is definitely a good reason to stay here versus, say, a value resort. I think, moving if you're looking to make that jump up.
And what we're getting to in our live chat, and thanks to everybody who is joining us again on Facebook. We record usually on Mondays around 5:30 Eastern. Now, this coming week, we will not because I will still be in the air coming home from Princess, but we'll get back to that next Monday. Brittany says she booked Coronado over Pop this time since they're going with 3 adults in one room and they needed more space. That is a great Great
Yes.
idea. And Megan also kind of echoes that. She says, stating the value for the first time with a full room this summer. Those rooms are just not the right size for 4 adults. You're right, because 4 adults have a lot of stuff. You know what? It can be done. I mean, it just depends.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
what you're comfortable with. I could, if you had to, and it meant not going to Walt Disney World, I'd be breaking the rules, but I could fit 5 people to value. I mean, if you could and not get busted, I mean, it's all about what you're comfortable with, but there's just something to be said for that extra space. Those rooms are spread out. They're a lot. I will say too, the moderate rooms themselves really kind of work well for somebody who might have to do some work while they're down on vacation. Like if you got to get your laptop out, check your email, respond to a few things here and there, they really kind of set up those moderate rooms to have like a workspace where they don't necessarily at the values. You can use it like round table. It's fine. But if you got to do a little work, that's something to think about. Also, I want to talk about theming, Ricky. You kind of brought that up. And the difference between a value resort theming and a moderate resort theming is value resort theming is very over the top, hit you on the head, Disney, Disney, Disney. Where when you jump up to the moderates, you're talking geographical theming. So you're talking about south over at Riverside. You're talking about basically New Orleans over at French Quarter, the American Southwest at Coronado Springs, and of course, like the Caribbean for Caribbean Beach. And so here's the thing I want you to consider too with that is that if you're going as as couples, I think you need to kind of start if you want to make it special and you're going on a couples trip, start at the moderates and look there because they're and again, we are the romance experts here, right? I mean,
we are absolutely.
There's nothing. Glenn Testa always said all-star music, very, very romantic. I agree. It is the neon by the big bass drum and that one part jazz. Heck yeah. I mean, there's that's romance on a budget back there, but I'm just saying like, Riverside, French Quarter, Sassagoula River at sunset with the horses clopping around the resort. It's awesome. Same for Coronado, like a sunset over, in the hot tub with the pyramid pool. And you got the siesta bar right there. Oh, so awesome. So, I mean, there's more romance at the moderate resorts, I find. But the thing I want to bring up, though, is if you're going as a family with kids, your kids, if they're, say 10 or younger, 12 or younger, they might not be as into an American Southwest theme as say a Pop Century theme. You know what I'm saying? So I think the kids might initially find a moderate resort as a downgrade over say a Pop Century, Art of Animation, All-Star Resort. However, when they go down to the pool area and see like how awesome it is, they now have a slide, especially like Riverside, like you're up in like a log funnel and you're coming down, or Coronado Springs, you're going down the Jaguar slide, I think is what it's called. So I think they're going to get a lot more. There's like big play areas next to the pools. So I think that's something to consider too, Ricky, is that the theming, while, when we're talking about it as adults, we say, oh, the theming's better at the moderates, but not necessarily. My lights are kind of flickering. Power doesn't go. But so I don't know. Like, how do you think about that because you got to consider like your audience, I think, when you're booking that trip.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you have kids in the family, I would absolutely consider staying, at a value just because you do have the larger than life things and they are fun. But that's definitely not to say that a moderate is not a fun experience for sure. I mean, or even a deluxe. I mean, let's just throw that in there just to say, all of the resorts have something fun for everyone, for every age, I think. But I do think that you're right. The values are, I think, kind of what people think of, especially something like Art of Animation, where you've got the family suites. That's something to consider too, because you can sleep more, although you can sleep 5 at a lot of the moderates. Not all of them.
Riverside and Caribbean Beach.
Yeah. Okay. So not all the moderates, but some of them. But you do have the option of sleeping 6 over at the both All-Star Music and Art of Animation with their family suites. So I think size of the party is going to help see which kind of hotel you stay at as well. Because if you're in a larger party, it's sometimes hard to find a room at Disney. So that's something to consider too.
I will say too, I mean, other things to consider at the moderate resorts, most of them have some sort of a live entertainment, so you can stay there. Now I will say every Walt Disney World resort, one of the best things they've done over the last 5 years is at the pools. They have the recreation staff that, will play games with kids. Some people hate this, but I mean, the kids love it, poolside bingo, trivia, pool games. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean, and they go away once, it's time for dinner and you can kind of have your peaceful time at night in the pool. But I think it's fun everywhere. That's it. The values, moderates, deluxes. But I will say, say you're staying at a Riverside, you're getting something like Yeehaw Bob, which if you've never gone to see Yeehaw Bob, it's a great show. I mean, and it fits the theme of Riverside so perfectly because you got kind of the old South and he's banging on the piano like they would have back in the day of like an old saloon at the River Roost. Very family friendly. Audience gets into the show. I think it's one of those things that you might be passing by because you're getting off your bus and you're heading over to the food court to grab a cupcake before you go back to your room. You see all the stuff going on in the River Roost, see Bob. You're like, oh, I'll just check that out for 5 minutes. And then maybe 30 minutes later, you're up on the stage with Bob banging on the piano. You know what I mean? That's like, you know what? And then you get home and that picture of Dad with Bob playing the piano or singing happy birthday to him. It's one of the highlights of the trip. So, those are one of those things that you get at a moderate resort. They have jazz music over at French Quarter. That person.
Yes. Cat Lounge, I think is what it is. Yeah.
That stuff's awesome.
They also have, when I went to visit Caribbean Beach, they had, which is one of my favorite things, they had a steel drum band playing right there by the pool. Well, it was kind of like by the, actually it was by the bar area. It's kind of all in the same area right now. But yeah, I love that because I love me some steel drum music. So I asked me, I am one of the only people in the entire world who had a steel drum band at her wedding reception. I mean, that just tells you right there how much I love steel drum bands. So, I mean, they really do. You're right. They incorporate more live music into the moderate resorts, which is absolutely something they don't do at the values. And of course they do it at the deluxes, but they definitely don't do it at the values. And it just adds to that ambiance. It really enhances your experience for sure.
And so when you go to Coronado, so we mentioned the other three, but Coronado, as far as live music, they don't really have a performer, but they have the Lounge Cafe, which it used to be more of like a club. Now it's more of a restaurant, but I think it's going to fit for more family. It's more.
Well, I think that they're trying to still appeal to that, business traveler. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of Coronado a lot is to appeal to that business traveler. And, I don't feel like maybe they think they don't need to have something like a live music at Coronado for that reason. It's a lot of people who are, going to meetings and stuff like that. But can you imagine if they had some sort of Southwest type band or something like that performing? That would be so fantastic. I would definitely stop and enjoy some music if they had that maybe at Rick's Lounge or wait, it's Rick's Sports Bar now, so they definitely wouldn't have it there anymore. But somewhere they along the way, I think it would be really nice to have some sort of music playing there, and I'm sad that they don't.
When you think about Coronado Springs, when you're thinking about this, say 6 months from now, you're going to have that awesome bar and grill that's out in the middle of the Del Lago.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a prime spot. I mean, that's going to be right there at your moderate resort. Of course, to me, I think Coronado in the next year is moving more deluxe than it is moderate. But I mean, right now it's moderate with the tower, and we'll see how that all.
I feel like it'll be a moderate deluxe. Like, does that make sense? Like, it won't be like quite as deluxe as say a Wilderness Lodge or Animal Kingdom Lodge, which are considered more of the moderate deluxes. It's going to be its own kind of category of actual moderate deluxe feel. So it's going to feel completely different than any other moderate resort out there. And I think if you are looking to have kind of a plussed up experience in the future, I think that Coronado is going to be the place to go. Although then you've got everything that's, like I said, going on with Caribbean Beach too. Now, granted, the Riviera is its own hotel, but it is kind of on the same grounds as Caribbean Beach. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of brand this moving forward, whether the Riviera will be its own kind of entity or whether they will try and tie it into Caribbean Beach as we move forward, like they've kind of done with Coronado. So that'll be really interesting to see what they do as we move forward.
I totally think that kind of the lines are being blurred now between, because I started off by here's the 4 categories, but like in my mind I have like subcategories because I consider in my mind I consider like Wilderness Lodge and Animal Kingdom Lodge, I consider them deluxe lights. Not that there's anything wrong with them because I love those 2 resorts, but when I'm looking at pricing and when I'm trying to think like, do I want to splurge for maybe, you know, we're going down for a week and I want to do like the last 2 nights at a deluxe. I'm going to look at Wilderness Lodge or Animal Kingdom Lodge because A, they're the cheapest deluxes, and B, you can usually get a discount, especially Animal Kingdom Lodge, on a room to where it's not, again, that's kind of that next step up from a moderate. It's not like a huge, like say you're staying at the Contemporary, Grand Floridian, Polynesian. That's like
Right.
you're doubling your price, you know, usually at least from a moderate to go there. But that's
so here's the one that we keep forgetting, and I think everybody keeps forgetting, and that's the Fort Wilderness cabins. I mean, yeah, you're right. Speaking about one of those odd category situations, the cabins at Fort Wilderness are definitely one of those. They used to be a deluxe, and I think that's why I still kind of in my brain think of them as a deluxe resort. They're not considered to be a deluxe anymore. They are considered to be a moderate, and again, they have a lot of room for guests, so that's good. They actually have their own. The cabins themselves have their own kitchens, right?
full kitchen.
Yeah, full kitchens, which is so fantastic too. So, you know, again, the moderates really, I think, are going to go across as we move forward all the categories, and they really are going to have something for everyone in the sense of, you know, are you looking to stay a little more deluxe? Well, you can stay at the cabins at Fort Wilderness because of the deluxe amenities that they have there. Now, maybe the theme isn't so deluxe feeling, but, you know, because you feel like you're camping. But, you know, the amenities that they have there are a little more deluxe. Or, you know, if you're staying at Coronado, you've got definitely, I feel like that's going to feel like a deluxe feel there for sure. You know, I feel like you're right. They're going to broaden this, and these categories really might be going away as we move forward, and it'll be even harder to help to explain them to people as we move forward. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a broad spectrum for sure.
And again, kind of going on the opposite end, we were talking about, you know, moderates as opposed to a value, but a moderate as opposed to a deluxe. Say, you know, you really want to have that deluxe experience at Trip, but maybe that you don't have the deluxe budget. I know that feeling my entire life.
I know that feeling too.
But we'll say one of the things that you can sneak out of Coronado, and again, we're big on Coronado because it's got some things that the other ones don't have. One of those things is if you're on a strict workout regimen or you just want to treat yourself, Coronado Springs is the moderate that has the spa and the workout room, the gym.
Yes.
And I will say that, you know, we travel in the summer, we take our long vacation. You guys know I like to get my runs in. And many times, you know, I get up, you know, I'll try to finish my run before the sun comes up, because once the sun comes up in June or July in Florida, nobody wants to run this, you know, right, station or something, you know, it's stupid. But I will say that a lot of times I will stick at Coronado Springs, because what I can do is it takes the weather and the heat factor out of everything. I mean, running on a treadmill is not ideal, but I don't mind to hop down there. Say, like, you know, we come back at noon and I might hop down to the treadmill for an hour and it's air conditioned. I can flip on the TV and, you know, get my run in and not have to stress out about getting up at 4:00 in the morning and beating the sunrise. And they have spa services, and you know, I think that's one of those things that a lot of times we have these expectations of, I want this deluxe experience, but I think you can sneak that out over at Coronado too.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's a huge thing and kind of like we're saying, like that is definitely more on the deluxe end of things. So, and I think that's going to continue. And I think that will appeal to those who have, you know, deluxe taste, but definitely not that deluxe budget, myself included on this. So Coronado, it just gets more and more attractive as time goes on because of these kind of amenities. And it's because, like I said, they have to appeal to a conventioner experience. So, you know, the conventioners have a idea of what they like and where they stay, and so to appeal to that Disney has to kind of offer a little more high-end options there. So it definitely gives Coronado a deluxe feel because of that, but definitely not a deluxe price, so that's good news.
Sure. But I mean, you gotta think about it too. Coronado and Caribbean Beach are both going to have signature dining coming forward.
Yes.
Fireworks views. I mean, it's going to be akin to like a California grill.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things though, where again, I don't know if Riviera is going to be considered as part of Caribbean Beach or if it's going to be its own thing. So, but Coronado definitely will have the fireworks views for sure. So, yeah, because they're going to have that big tower and they have the restaurant at the top, which that's not Topolino's. Topolino is at Caribbean Beach. I forget the name of the other one. It starts with a T though. I know that. So
but I can't think of it.
Yeah. I'll look it up real quick. But Caribbean Beach or Coronado is going to have that rooftop restaurant as well, which is going to have just amazing views of for illuminations and
Or the illumination replacement.
Or I guess I should say that the illuminations replacement.
The Epcot evening spectacular. That's what it's going to be. No, so
Yes.
The thing is, moderates I think fit the bill a lot of the time, and I think that's a lot for a lot of folks. That's a good place to start your planning. Is look at a moderate, see what's available, and then if say you're going down for a Run Disney weekend, you're on a solo trip, and I'm totally just blowing up my own spot right here because I'm down there. I'm staying at a moderate. I might look at a value, because you don't need to do that. Deluxes though, say you're going on an anniversary trip, hey, go to an Animal Kingdom lodge, stay at a Polynesian, it's like, if it's on your bucket list, go down and do it, or do a split stay, do the moderate for a little bit, go up to a deluxe, always do the better one at the end. But Ricky, what's that restaurant we're going to go to?
Toledo. I knew it started with a T and I almost said that. And I was like, no, that can't be right. It's Toledo's. Yeah. See, everybody's getting it in except me.
So let's also talk about transportation. So when you're at a moderate resort, for the most part, you have a secondary fun, I consider it in air quotes, fun type of transportation. Now, Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is going to have the gondolas to take. That's going to be a huge draw moving forward, I think, for guests to stay there, because not only is it going to be efficient, I would imagine, especially once get the kinks worked out, but it's going to be a really unique way to see Walt Disney World in a way you've never seen it before, and also get you where you need to go. So I think that's going to be a huge perk. You have buses and gondola service from Caribbean Beach. Coronado Springs, bus service. Now that's not bad. It's not great, but the thing is, you're centrally located. You can get to any of the parks pretty quickly from Coronado. French Quarter in Riverside, you have bus service to the theme parks, but you have the amazing opportunity to go to Disney Springs via the boats on the Sassagoula River, which, if you've never done this, whether you're staying at Riverside or French Quarter, even Old Key West, if you've never done this before, I would encourage you to book an ADR, either at like Boat Rights or Olivia's. Well, don't do Olivia's. I don't want you getting in my way. Don't book an ADR. Go shopping at one of these resorts. Go to the food court. Go to the food court. Get out of my way. But, I'm saying go over to those resorts, enjoy some time, but take that boat over to Disney Springs, or vice versa. If you're Disney Springs, just cruise down the Sassagoula, because you're going to get to see the tree houses. You see the awesome cypress trees, which reminds me of like I'm like Ponce de Leon. I'm trying to find the Fountain of Youth, back in the day, it's like native Florida. And I love that stuff. So, that's fun. You have other opportunities at like Riverside. You can get the horse-drawn carriage. That's a cool opportunity. You can do cane fishing at Riverside, as a fun activity. I'm trying to think, Ricky, is there anything kind of like extra opportunities you can do at the other ones? Because French Quarter has the beignet bash, the running little thing on Sundays, but a lot of the resorts are getting those now. So that's not so unique to the moderates anymore. It was, but it's not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah. Let's see here. I think, I really think that the Riverside resorts are kind of the ones that have kind of the more unique things. I feel like as time goes on, maybe Caribbean Beach is going to start getting some of those. I feel like, again, Coronado may not offer as many because they are the convention hotel sort of. So, if you look at Fort Wilderness, which is a moderate, you've got everything over there. I mean, there's, pony rides and archery and so many things you can't think of. Wagon rides. There's so many activities at Fort Wilderness that bike rentals. I'm trying to think of what else.
Golf carts. That'd be awesome.
Well, yes, of course, the golf carts.
Wow.
You got to have a golf cart to get around there, basically, it feels like. So, yeah, just a ton of activities at Fort Wilderness. Let me pull it up real quick to see what I'm missing. Because I know, so many people don't think of Fort Wilderness for this. And so I don't want you to discount that. But also at Fort Wilderness, you have Hoop-Dee-Doo, which is another huge thing. Super popular experience. Trails End, of course, yes. You've got the boat rentals that you can do at Fort Wilderness. Shuffleboard, which I'm not good at, by the way.
We need to have a tournament on the Be Our Guest podcast cruise this time. I think we tried it last time. We are having one on 5. So get your teams ready.
Terrible at this. You've got the campfire movies with Chip and Dale there. You've got the electric water pageant views there. You've got horseback riding, petting farm. I mean, you can actually see the horses that are at the Magic Kingdom, which is so fantastic. You've got the trail that's there too that takes you to Wilderness Lodge. So
that's awesome.
That's really cool too. You can fish at Fort Wilderness too. So there are so many things to do at Fort Wilderness. And you can spend your entire vacation just at Fort Wilderness doing all the activities that they have and still still have more time to do not have time to do other things, I guess I should say. So you cannot go into the theme parks. You can just literally sit at Fort Wilderness and just do your thing have a great vacation. So I think that so many people need to go over to Fort Wilderness if you haven't been over there. I mean, you can play checkers, for goodness sakes, right there in front.
You can go to Cracker Barrel and play checkers if you want. Just kidding. It does have kind of a Cracker Barrel feel. But and also, have a Cracker
Barrel feel. Yeah, you're right.
Wrong with that. I mean, shoot, I always say my big rule. I always tell everybody, where the old people eat, that's where the good food is. So I'm just saying.
That's true. If they added some chicken and dumplings to the menu at Trail's End, this girl will be all over it. I'm just saying.
Words to live by Mike Rallman, where the old people eat, that's where the good food is. Anyway, so I get also with the transportation over at Fort Wilderness, obviously you have a boat to the Magic Kingdom. Boom. That's a great boat ride. That's a great boat ride out on Bay Lake over the water bridge. Good stuff.
Yes, definitely.
All right, well, let's put a boat.
They still do Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. Unfortunately, they do not right now. It has closed down due to the brand new resort that's coming. That was on kind of near that area, the Lakeside Lodge. I don't know the Reflections Lakeside Lodge or whatever it's called, which is the dumbest name ever, but it's okay.
I like it. It's a throwback to Illuminations.
It sounds like an old folks' home, so
it might be. Maybe that's where I'll live out my days.
Maybe that's where the Cracker Barrel will be.
Yeah, instead of Trails End, I'll have a Cracker Barrel down in the lobby. Man, that sounds like ideal to me. Throw a Texas Roadhouse somewhere down the road, and I'm in business.
We'll be good to go. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of a fun discussion on the moderates. We hope you enjoyed it today. They are really kind of a place to start. Of course, you always got to look at the dynamics of your trip. What are the goals of the trip? How much time are you going to spend at the resort? If you're never going to be at the resort, obviously book a value, because there's no reason to spend more than you need. You still get a lot of the same on-site perks. But I think if you want to, slow down, you're going for a longer period of time. You need a day where you're just going to chill out, maybe a day 3 or 4 of a week-long vacation. You really can't go wrong with the moderate resorts. You got lots to do, great theming, great locations, bigger rooms, and the kids love the slides. So do the big kids. They're fun.
I was going to say, Mike Rallman loves the slides too. Let's just be perfectly honest.
All righty. Well, that's going to do it for today's show. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the great folks over at the Magic for Less Travel. And when you book with the Magic for Less, let me just remind you of this. You are supporting the Be Our Guest podcast. You help us do everything that we can do. So I know you guys are all Disney experts. You know how to do everything. You know how to do My Disney Experience. Most of you, you're listening to this podcast. You're a big Disney nerd. And that's a great thing. I'm not saying it in a derogatory term. We love you. Right? You're one of us, so, hey, we appreciate that. But you still, when you book with the Magic for Less, you still have absolute control over your reservation. You connect it to your My Disney Experience. You make your fast pass. You can do your ADRs. That stuff is not out of your hands. I don't know if you know that, but you still get control of everything there. You just have a partner in planning. You have somebody there. If you have, need anything done, we call Disney for you. We take care of payments for you. You don't have to wait on hold or take care of that stuff. It's really kind of just having a concierge there to take care of you. So when it comes time for the next Disney trip, please give the Magic for Less a shot. Drop by themagicforless.com today. Fill out that free no obligation quote. It's not an obligation quote. That'd be bad. It's a no obligation quote. And H will get back to you right away to really help support the show. So again, themagicforless.com. And please, when you buy all that junk that you need, like sweats for Princess Week, you probably won't need them this weekend, but you need sneakers, you need I've been buying a lot of cheap little watch bands for my Apple Watch, any of that stuff that you really don't need, but you got to buy anyway on Amazon. Please click through our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give us a follow on the social. We're going to be down there right now. I'm probably posting right as we speak.
Yeah.
So follow me at Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram and Twitter. Also at Be Our Guest Pod and the Facebook page, Facebook.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. All right. Time to get out of here and let you get on with your weekend. Lizards, get out there, get it, have fun. The most important thing is have fun. Take lots of pictures. And remember, hashtag run BOGP on all those pictures so we can see everybody and just enjoy Princess Weekend. I can't wait to see everybody down there. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike. Wish you a great weekend. Go Lizards. And we'll see you real soon. Okay, that works. So let me save that one. Moderate. Save as. Nope. Wait. Save as.
Don't lose it, Mike.
1450. Non-edit. Chat room. You were on it.
Yes.
Kim. We're live. We're like
especially when Ricky has brain farts. Yeah.
Deanna, you're gonna love Coronado. All right, time for some listener questions for next Wednesday. Okay, so
I'm sorry.
Wait, where was it? Oh shoot. I went to that email and here it is. Okay. All right, here we go. This is for is there any holiday next Wednesday? No.
Next Wednesday? No. We're good.
Old Wednesday.
Just
okay.
Yeah, plain old Wednesday. This will be the 27th, right? Yeah, plain Wednesday.
Wow, February's almost over. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Baseball season. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 1452 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Yes, I am back from Walt Disney World from Princess Half Marathon Weekend. I'm sure a great time was had by all. We're sneaking this one in a little bit early before we head down because we never want to miss an episode. But Friday, we'll be talking about all the stuff that happened over Princess Half Marathon Weekend. Can't wait to share that. But of course, we can't miss a Wednesday without answering your listener questions. So to get this done, we have Ricky from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. Happy Wednesday, Ricky. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. It is almost the end of this month. So, yeah, the year's already flying by. What are we doing? It's crazy.
I'm excited because it's podcast cruise year. So we'll be doing some cruising here at the end of June, and we're going to be going down to Walt Disney World this summer. I get to go down in May for Summit Cheerleading Championships. No
awesome.
idea what I'm getting myself into there. Actually, I have a podcast coming up on a Monday. I talked to somebody that's been there, done that, basically because I need to learn what to do. But she was awesome. She's out in Seattle, and
cool.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Hey, you get to go down during Flower and Garden Festival, and you're going to be there for Cinco de Mayo. Sign me up. I don't care, cheerleading or not.
That'll be awesome. So that'll be good. That'll be good.
Go Sparkle. That's Team Sparkle. All right, so let's answer questions. Should we?
Okay. I think we should. Yes.
All right. First question says grillin' and chillin'. It's from Robbie in Frederick, Maryland. Hey, BOGP crew. We'll be visiting the world in early October and are finally going to check off one of our Disney bucket list items, dinner at California Grill. Thanks, free dining. We want to make sure we get the full experience. So I have a couple of questions for the experts. 1, what is the best time frame to make a reservation to ensure we can arrive and request prime seating to view the fireworks? And the second question, we will be there during the Not So Scary Halloween party. Which fireworks show would be better to view from California Grill, Happily Ever After, or Not So Scary? We will see both in the park on different days, but considering Happily Ever After is heavy on projections, I wanted your opinion on which show you would think would be better to view from California Grill. Thanks for all you do to make our Disney vacations more magical, Robbie. All right, number 1. Ricky, when would you make that? Nobody else is trying to do this either. Nobody else is there. So it's kind of a tough nut to crack. But when you're making those ADRs, and if you're the first one on the ball, the early bird gets the worm. What time would you make that ADR to see the fireworks?
It's going to depend, obviously, on when the fireworks are. So I would say I would make that ADR for probably about at minimum an hour, probably an hour and a half before the fireworks are scheduled to go off. It's kind of what I was, because it'll probably take a little bit of time to seat you, that kind of thing. And you don't want to you don't want to take the table up forever either. But The good thing is that with California Grill, even if you made like an earlier ADR, you can still go back and with your receipt, and they will still let you back up there so you can see the fireworks. So even if you had like a 5:30 ADR, you can still go back and see it. So you don't have to linger if you'd rather have a earlier dinner time. But yeah, if you're really wanting to see it during dinner, that kind of thing, that situation, I would say at least an hour to hour and a half before, at least.
I'll go 90 minutes before the scheduled fireworks is what I would shoot for to check in. Because like you said, you don't want to be rude and linger.
Right.
But as far as the second question about whether to see Happily Ever After or what's it called, Hollow Wishes, I would definitely go Hollow Wishes because that show, like you said, it's more made for just purely pyrotechnics, where
right,
he said the exact right thing. That there's a lot of projections, which you'll see them from a distance. You'll still be able to see from California Grill. You're up high enough that you can see the projections on the castle. You just can't make out what they are. You can see colors.
Right. You can see colors. Yeah. So I agree with you. I would choose I would choose Hollow Wishes over Happily Ever After. I think that that's a much better choice. But I love Hollow Wishes so much. So that may be skewing my decision.
All right, so Jillian has a question in the chat here about what are some tips for traveling with a type 1 diabetic in the summer. I will be honest, I don't want to miss your question here, but I don't really know much about that. Okay. But if anybody has, we can put a thread on the Facebook page. So Ricky, do you have anything?
I'm actually going to suggest, we had a blog post on the Mouse for Less semi-recently about someone who traveled with diabetes to Walt Disney World. So I would go check out the Mouse for Less and just type in the search of the blog, the name of the article is actually Managing Diabetes in the Disney Parks. So that's what I would search for. I would just search for diabetes and you'll be able to find it pretty easily.
Sweet. All right. So we have a follow-up from actually last week's or a couple of weeks ago. We had a question about classic cars down at Walt Disney World. And John Pappas sent a great email, and he reminded me that there's a classic car outside the Grand Floridian. Now, it's not like a muscle car, but you get a picture. So there you go. Go get your picture at the Grand. Yeah. All right. Thanks, John, for that. And also, we have a question here from Alfred, one of our great fans in the live chat, who is usually there. We appreciate that, from New York. He's asking, if money were no object, would you recommend staying at the Grand Floridian or Bay Lake Towers? Oh. Ricky, what say you? So money is no object.
That is tough. Because I have stayed at the Grand Floridian and I have not stayed at Bay Lake Towers. So I do love the Grand Floridian. I know that it's weird I'm saying these words, that I love the Grand Floridian.
I stayed there that one night for the Toy Story Media event. Man, I was like, whoa, this is incredible. I cannot like this because I can never afford to stay here on my own.
Exactly. I mean, it is incredible staying at the Grand Floridian. Oh man, but there's something so special about staying at the Contemporary too. Oh, you're killing me. I really don't know. I guess at this point I'd have to say the Contemporary. That's only because I haven't stayed there yet, and I want to get that checked off my bucket list. But I do like the Grand Floridian, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really like the Grand Floridian.
Yeah, if money's no object, I'm going Grand. It's awful, right. But money's always an object in my life, unfortunately.
Yes.
But yeah, I would go Grand. All right, so we got this question that came through the Facebook page, Ricky, and so I thought this would be a good one for you. I just don't know. The question's from Robert, and he says it's from his iPhone. He says, your question: recently we went to the world and found Mike and Ike candies, but what happened to the hot tamales?
What?
That's the question. I don't know.
Oh,
I love hot tamales, by the way. They are a good low-fat snack. They're addicting.
Honestly, I didn't know one was offered at Disney, so good to know, question mark. I didn't, or not know, because I really didn't know that they didn't offer those, or did.
If you know the breaking news on hot tamales, we need to know.
We need to know the information. Let's go. Why do they not have hot tamales anymore?
I know. That's a bummer. Christine says, Hollywood Studios early morning magic worth it? She says, yes, as a follow-up. Yes, totally worth it. Our daughters got to ride Slinky Dog 4 times. which would have been
Nice.
600 minutes of waiting once the park opened. By 10:30, we rode all the Toy Story rides, plus Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror. This was during Christmas week. Plus, we got breakfast and soda and
Oh my
coffee
gosh.
and pictures with nobody else in them during the event. So Christine,
Nice.
yes, she thought that was
All right. Good to know.
All right, another question from Glenn. He's in Poplar Grove, Illinois. Not like how he says 1,253 miles away from Boma.
Nice. Good
Most
choice,
important to
sir.
Glenn.
Good choice.
All right, so hello, BOGP crew. With Disney's new credit card authorization policy, that's a mouthful, going into effect on February 27th, which I believe is today, as this airs.
That is. Yep.
Do you think you'll be able to use a Disney gift card for these new incremental charges? Heading back to our happy place in August and can't wait. Thanks for all you do to bring the magic to our daily lives as we eagerly count down the days until our next trip. All right, Ricky. So what do you think? Again, of course, recording this a bit early, but what's the policy of the new credit card thing?
Well, I'm kind of familiar with this policy. It is a normal policy that they have at most other hotels. So I really kind of understand what they're doing. So what they're doing is they are just putting a hold on your credit card for any incidentals. So if something happens, where you check out and you don't pay for your room, or something, you don't pay for something, then the card will be charged. That's kind of how that whole process works. If you're looking to pay for to pay with Disney gift cards, don't worry, you can still pay with Disney gift cards. What you're going to need to do, though, is you're going to need to go down to the front desk before the end of the last night. So I would go the night before your last night. That's kind of
yeah, that's what Pam does.
correct. Yes. I would go the night before and use all the gift cards that you want to use that night. Because I find that I would guess they will probably charge your credit card in the morning that you're checking out. So if you haven't gone the night before, then your credit card will end up being charged. Now they can reverse it, I'm sure, but that's a whole process and you don't want to go through all that. So just go down there the night before if you're paying with Disney gift cards and pay off your bill at that point. That way you don't have to deal with, hey, my credit card got charged. So,
and I love my buddy Craig in the chat. He says, hey, think about it. If money were no object, stay at both for the last question. Yeah, exactly.
Correct answer, Craig. Correct. Yes.
Smarter than us.
I'm sad I didn't come up with it myself.
All right. So the next question from the inbox is from my good friend Tony in Marietta, Ohio. And he says, hi, Mike, Ricky, and Pam. The title of his email is Rain on My Cruise. So Mike has our first ever Disney cruise scheduled for May 6th through 9th of this year. Well, you know what? I didn't tell him he had to go on this cruise. Like I helped him book it. I didn't say you have to go on the cruise on May 6th. He decided. So just, we know. He says they cannot wait. This is our big celebration trip for our family. It's their 30th wedding anniversary. Congratulations, Tony. Awesome. And let's see, Kylie's 25th birthday, Maggie's 21st. Uh-oh, that's bad news on a cruise. And Sarah Jane's milestone birthday. You can fill in the number. I do not dare, Tony. That's all.
No.
I'm not that dumb. I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb. He says, first, does Disney Cruise Line do these special occasions like Walt Disney World with the buttons? So, Ricky, I think they do have the buttons on board now. They didn't for a while, but I think they do. They not? I'm pretty sure.
They do have buttons. I know this because, and they've had them for a while, actually. I actually had one of the podcast cruises was right near my birthday, and yeah, that one. There's that one, but they have an actual birthday one too. One of the podcast cruises was right around my birthday, so I wanted to celebrate. So I got the birthday button and I put it on my, Castaway lanyard. Also, you can let them know that it's birthdays or any special thing, and they will celebrate at dinner one night. I believe you have to choose which night it is, but they will celebrate with some sort of delicious treat.
They actually do illuminations on the ship for you in the dining room. You know that? Here, you ready for illumination?
I'm ready for fireworks. Oh, yes, exactly. They do fireworks. Yes.
I love it.
If you want to see a celebration of a birthday, go to the Mouse for Less's YouTube channel, and I have the Disney cruise that I just took in October. I'm working on the vlogs for that. And on the day 4 one, we celebrated Ben's birthday. So you get to see kind of what the celebration is about on that.
Sweetness.
Yes.
And he says, finally, was reading an article about not making prepaid reservations for things like bike rentals at Castaway Key. I'm off. I know. Once you say it wrong, it sounds wrong. I've been there times. Castaway Key in case it rains that day. Does that mean that there are no refunds for those items if you do? It just makes me make sure that we plan well and don't pay for stuff we don't get to enjoy. Thanks for everything you all do for the Disney community. Love you, Tony. So the thing is, like with Castaway Key, we've had this happen on podcast cruises, like podcast cruise 2 or 3. It was one where we did a double dip like we're doing this summer. And one of the days it rained like the Dickens while we were at Castaway Key. Now we had this is one of the best ever cruises. I remember that a bunch of us, we went out into the water, out into the ocean, and we got our floaties and we just held them up over our heads and we just all hung out and talked out there for hours. And the water was warm. The rain was warm. You didn't get a sunburn. It was like, I still remember that, hanging out there, Adam and Susie and everybody, Joe and Jay and Melissa and Joanne was out there. It was so much fun. But I think the thing with the excursions, and they call them port adventures with Disney Cruise Line, is they are not going to charge you unless those things take place. You book them ahead of time, but they're not going to charge you. And if they do, they're going to reverse it if you don't get to do it. They're not charging you for stuff you don't do.
Right. Yes.
You don't sweep that. No. All right. Let's see here. Paige has the next question. She's from New Madrid, Missouri. Now, see, if you're not from St. Louis or Missouri, you would think that's New Madrid, but it's New Madrid, right, yes. Ricky?
Correct.
What's special about New Madrid, Missouri?
Oh no, is that the fault?
Yes, it's where the huge earthquake happened in the early 1900s. Yes. Made the Mississippi River run backwards for a week. Can you imagine?
Right, it did. That's crazy.
Kentucky Lake. That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that's what made Kentucky Lake. Oh, yeah. Good old St. Louis stuff. Oh, okay, got it.
At least one of the lakes. It might not be Kentucky Lake, but it's a lake down near Kentucky Lake. Anyway, back to Disney. Hey, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. The title of this one's Pirate Room Panic. Still loving the podcast. It certainly makes time between Disney trips more magical. I just impulse booked a trip for the first full week of June using the Fun and Sun offer. As of right now, my husband, sister, and I are staying at Caribbean Beach in one of the pirate-themed rooms, but this was not our first choice. We really wanted one of the standard regular view rooms simply because the pirate rooms have double beds and are in some of the furthest out buildings in the main lobby. Here's my question. If we get to check in and request to be placed in a regular standard room, is there any chance that the cast members would be able to make that switch? Should I call ahead? I hate calling Disney. I'm not sure it would be a price increase, but I'm thinking bigger beds and shorter walks may be worth it. Bonus question. What are your favorite budget-friendly table service restaurants? Thanks for your Disney wisdom, Paige. All right, so let's talk about the pirate rooms. First of all, the pirate rooms are the ones that are the most plentiful right now at Caribbean Beach, and they're the ones you're going to get on the discounts. I'll be honest, I never really ever see the standard regular Caribbean Beach rooms on a discount lately. You can request when you get there, check in, obviously, to be moved to a regular type room. There will be an increase in your price. You may lose the discount, but you can definitely ask. I doubt they're going to upgrade you. We kind of talked about this on a previous show a couple of weeks back, but it never hurts to ask. So I would, see it. And you know what? I've stayed in the pirate rooms. They're fine. They're really actually cool looking. And they're a little bit further out, but it's like staying in the Little Mermaid rooms at Art of Animation, or when I was at Riverside for marathon weekend, I was in building 24, I think it was. And I mean, I was closer to Spaceship Earth, I think, than the Riverside Mill food court. But I mean, it is what it is. So, right. I got a good deal on the room. And that's why I was out there. So it's fine. You're walking so much at Walt Disney World. Really, it's not that much considering the big picture. So I wouldn't stress too much, but, ask for what you want. Bonus question. Give one budget-friendly table service restaurant that's your favorite.
I mean, there really are so many. I'm going to go with Trail's End. It's just my favorite. I can't, it's so budget-friendly. So Trail's End. Ooh, I have another option, though, if you don't take it. So you go with yours now. I'm
trying to say if I want to say. I've said it enough times. I love Olivia's. It's a good.
I know you're going with Olivia's. Okay, here's one in the park that. So if you're looking for one in the park, the Plaza, on Main Street USA is definitely a good option for budget-friendly sit-down meal.
All
So
right.
yeah, I gave one of each.
There you go. Good stuff. All right, let's head to the Arctic tundra of North Canton, Ohio. Laurie's got a question. One of our great lizards who runs half marathons like most people get out of bed. Hi, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. I absolutely love listening to the podcast as I drive on my way to work or on my runs. You all are so fun to listen to during the week. You definitely make my week better. Thanks. And Laurie's always smiling and having fun. I love Laurie. She says, I have a question about an ADR in a morning of early magic hours at the Magic Kingdom. I have an ADR at the Plaza Restaurant at 8:10 on April 9th. I just found out that this is the ticket that the ticket event early magic hours are that morning. Will I still be able to use my ADR since I have to have an event ticket? I have an annual pass, so getting into the parks is not an issue. Should I reschedule my ADR or will I be able to go into the park for my ADR? Thanks for all the great information you provide. Never get tired of the podcast and listening about Disney. Hope to see some lizards at Star Wars Race Weekend. And that's up next. So Ricky, talk Laurie through the process of getting into the park because they have a hard ticket event scheduled after she made her ADR.
Laurie, good news. You're fine. So Disney's not gonna. You're still gonna be able to get in because you have that ADR. So there's no problem with that. Even though there's a hard ticket event in the morning, that hard ticket event only happens in Fantasyland. So they're going to separate everybody out. So everybody who has the ADRs for all the restaurants are going to go in one queue, and everybody who's got the early morning magic are going to go in another queue, and then they'll let those people for early morning magic back to Fantasyland, and then they'll let all the others who have the ADRs go to their ADR locations. So you are good. You don't need to change a thing. I would still keep your ADR.
And I really want to do that breakfast at the Plaza. It looks
it sounds delightful, and I keep forgetting that they have it.
I know, me too. Good. But then when people bring it up, I'm like, oh, because they have like eggs Benedict. They have a lot of good stuff.
Yes, they have so many things that look so delicious. Oh, speaking of eggs Benedict, by the way, I went to Ale and Compass on my last trip, and my brother's boyfriend got some sort of eggs Benedict there, and it was like had pork on it. Oh my gosh, it was really good. I don't even like eggs Benedict, and this was so fantastic. So if you like eggs Benedict, you definitely want to go to Ale and Compass and try theirs. It's really, really good. So really good.
The eggs Benedict fan club. We love some eggs
so good. I always get the chocolate waffles there. But I may consider getting that eggs Benedict. That's how good that was. Like if I'm in the mood for something kind of savory, which I never am, but for breakfast. But if I am, I definitely will get that.
It's good. All right, next email says best day ever with a little planning help from the BOG crew, of course, and crew spelled KREWE. That just makes it sound way cooler if you spell it that way. And it's from Kristen. It says, Dear Mike, Pam, and Ricky, my husband and I will be taking our 4-year-old princess crazed daughter to Walt Disney World for her first trip at the end of April. I have what I would consider to be a, in quotes, now she did it wrong, but it's in quotes instead of a hashtag, freaking magical first day scheduled for her in the Magic Kingdom. But we'll take that. We'll accept it.
Yes, it is approved. Yes.
It is. So we'll see if this is hashtag freaking magical. 8:20 a.m. breakfast ADR at Cinderella's Royal Table, followed by a Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique appointment at 9:45 in the castle. From there, I'm torn with how to schedule my fast passes, which is coming up in less than 2 weeks. Since I will be in Cinderella's castle already, I was planning on heading out the back and straight into Fantasyland. Although we will be in the park before opening, we won't actually be out to ride until closer to 10. Here's my question. What would you fast pass versus try to jump in line for? My thinking was to fast pass Mine Train, Peter Pan, and meet and greet with Tiana, who's her favorite princess. I wasn't sure if I should fast pass those rides or try to get straight into line and fast pass something else. This is my first time doing Fast Pass Plus, so the overwhelming is real. I'm open to other strategies on how to get through the first in the park. We do have a second Magic Kingdom Day planned for our last day of the trip, so there's flexibility in my plans for sure. Any other princess tips are obviously welcomed. Thanks for all the help and guidance you guys share in the show. I've learned so much, and you really make the whole planning process fun in itself. Who dat? And happy almost Mardi Gras. So I'm guessing she's from down in.
I would assume Mardi Gras is already already been here, right? I don't know when Mardi Gras is, but I think we've probably already hit it, right?
We're right
when
up.
this comes out.
No, when this comes out, yeah, really close. We have a big Mardi Gras in St. Louis too. All right, so I think I like her plan for the fast pass for Dwarves and Peter Pan, and then locking in meeting Tiana, and then just gravy and everything else. And the thing is, get so many pictures that day because she's going to be Princess Cray's first day, all did up. Make sure you have Memory Maker. Yeah, I like this, and just whatever else she gets, gravy.
And what's funny is I was going to suggest 2 of those fast passes to begin with. So I was absolutely going to suggest Seven Dwarves, and I was going to suggest Peter Pan. So I think you're on the right track. And I think because she's going to be dressed up like a princess and because Tiana is her favorite, yes, you absolutely have to do Princess Fairy Tale Hall as your next fast pass. I think that's a perfect option. Definitely.
I agree. And CJ in the chat says, just be sure to meet Mickey and Minnie together in their party outfits. Now, see, that might be a good thing because that's going to capture, there's certain pictures you can get on a Disney trip that capture the moment or the year or the time. And this is going to be that time, right?
Yes, because Mickey and Minnie are only meeting in their celebration outfits together until September 30th. So it is a limited time option. And they are adorable. So you definitely don't want to miss that.
And, it's going to be one of those things like getting your picture in front of the castle when it was decorated like a cake for the 25th, or having your picture in front of Spaceship Earth with the wand. It's like those, or the hat at the studios. Those are one of those things, 10 years from now, you can go back and say, oh, yeah, we were there then.
Remember when that happened?
Exactly. Always a good thing. I'm not a big fan of those outfits, but some people are, I guess.
I still don't understand why they put Mickey in culottes. Like, why did you put him in shorts, like short pants? I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. You could have given him a long pants. I don't get it. But I like the outfits overall. I think they're really cute. I don't get the choice of the short.
It's Florida, man. Pants. It's hot. You don't want pants.
It's a weird option. I'm just saying, like, you just put them in full pants. Come on. I don't get it. But
give them out some pants. Okay, next.
Some full pair of pants.
Justin says, hey guys, what's the best way to hop from Epcot to the studios? The boat or walk? Thanks. Walking's faster. The boat's more fun. That's what I say.
I'm absolutely on the boat. I'm on the boat bandwagon. You know why? Because you walked around Epcot. You were going to walk around the studios. Get on the boat and enjoy a relaxing ride over there. It's going to take 30 minutes. I don't care. It's 30 minutes well worth it. Let me just tell you that right now. It's 30 minutes well worth it.
I decided, a little visual. I looked down at my Apple Watch. I see how many steps I still need that day. And if I need steps, I walk. If I don't, I ride the boat.
Yeah, I'm still riding the boat. So get on the boat. That's what I did. I literally just did this. I had the discussion with my brother. I was like, do you want to walk it or do you want to take the boat? He said, are you crazy? Take the boat. So we did.
Does he have an Apple Watch?
He does not, but that's
He's
fine.
not
I have one and I got my steps in. Trust me. I knew I got my steps in and I didn't need to take any extra. I was just fine. So.
All righty. All right. Next question says ADRs and fast passes for couples. It's from Shannon in Louisville, Kentucky. Hey, Mike, Ricky, and Pam. I've been listening to the BOGP now for about a year and I absolutely adore it. I so look forward to weekly doses of magic that you guys bring. You were invaluable in helping me plan our June 2018 trip with my whole family. And now I'm planning our first couples trip to Food and Wine in September 2019 with just my husband and I. We're doing a split stay with Wilderness Lodge and Yacht Club, a first for both of us. Oh, man, that's going to be a great trip. Oh, man.
Yes.
I have a question about ADRs and fast passes. I was fortunate enough last year to be able to get all the ADRs and fast passes we wanted for the family, but it took being relentless, dare I say obsessive, about checking the My Disney Experience app for those hard to get restaurants and attractions, with our upcoming trip being just for 2 people. Will it be easier to snag the more popular ADRs and fast passes again? Thanks for all you do, Shannon. Yes.
Well,
Ricky.
I mean, she didn't say how many were in the party before. I mean, so that kind of doesn't help, but I mean, I do find that it's somewhat easier to make those fast passes for 2 and ADRs for 2 rather than for any more. So yeah, it should be a little bit easier for you. Definitely.
Yeah, it'll be easier.
Plus on the go, when you're on the go, like when you're in the park and making those extra fast passes throughout the day, those are definitely easier to get as a couple, especially for some of the harder to get attractions. So that's definitely easier to do.
All right, next question comes from Kia. She's in Richmond, Virginia. She says, we need to go back to WDW ASAP. Please help. All right, here we are.
Me too.
Hey, I know, there we go. Hey, BOGP friends. My family of three, I should say, just took our first trip to Walt Disney World September 2019 for 8 days. Well, that must have been 2018, I'm guessing.
I hope so. Yeah, unless she time traveled and then went back. Yeah.
Someone's really screwed up otherwise. Says, we planned and saved for over a year, and the trip was, to say cliche, magical. We were able to meet every character, eat in every restaurant, and ride every ride that we planned on, thanks to our phenomenal travel agent who did all the heavy lifting and got us every ADR and Fast Pass that we requested. Fast forward to now, the Disney bug has definitely bitten us, and we need to go back ASAP. Here's my question for all of you. Is it worth it to try to plan a last-minute quick trip to Disney? I'm afraid that by doing that, we'll find ourselves standing in line for the majority of our trip because we would have not been able to book our ADRs or Fast Passes. If a quick trip will only result in us spending a lot of money and not being able to accomplish much, would we just have to suffer for the next year while we plan out something larger and more organized? Or do you have any tips or suggestions that would make a quick trip to Disney worth our while? Or do you suggest we just plan it out and look forward to Disney in 2020 or 2021? Thanks, Kia. All right, Ricky, so you do go last minute a lot. I'll be honest, I just got back. I didn't make one ADR. I didn't make one Fast Pass. I know, shocking. But I'm there with a lot of friends, and I don't know what we're going to be doing. We're running races. But what do you say? Do you save up so that you get every exact detail ironed out, or do you throw a quick trip together?
I mean, you're asking me, so I throw the quick trip together. But, it kind of depends on what you're looking for with the vacation. If you are looking to relive exactly kind of what you just did, then you might want to hold out and, save up a little bit and make sure that you do it that way. But if you're looking to maybe switch it up a little bit, do some of the things that you did before and then do some different things and kind of go with the flow, which is you can do when you're at Disney. I mean, I know that Disney kind of makes us think that we can't, but I can tell you, like, a lot of times I don't make my Fast Passes until a week before I go down, and I still am able to get decent Fast Passes for times that I want. So, I don't ever have problems with that. I don't make ADRs until sometimes I don't make ADRs until the night before, to be perfectly honest. So, or the day of, and I'm looking through the app and I'm like, oh, I'd like to eat here, So you can absolutely do a last minute trip and have a great time. I can tell you I've had a great time with every single last minute trip that I've been on. So you're asking the enablers, and so we're going to enable you to say yes. But, if you're looking for like that absolutely perfect trip, it has to be exactly like the one that you just went on. I mean, you might want to, save up the money for it, but if you're okay with kind of just going with the flow and seeing where things take you, then absolutely go with that quick little whatever trip you're planning for September, which I think you're going to be just fine if that's when you're planning it for. So, or and actually she didn't say when planning it for, did she?
The last trip for September, well.
Yeah.
And that's the time to go to, obviously. I mean, there's not really a slow season, but that's one of the lower seasons. Anthony really sums it up in the chat, and he says, have realistic expectations and you'll have as great a time as ever. And the thing is, I say, yeah, you could do a last minute trip totally, because you're still going to get Fast Passes and you're still going to get ADRs. Now, you might not get Flight Passage at 10 o'clock in the morning, or you might not get Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at 7:30 in the evening. But the thing is, the way I look at this is that it's an opportunity to do different things. Ricky was talking about, do you want to kind of go through that same magical trip that you took last time, which everybody wants that. But I mean, maybe you're not eating at Homecoming this time. Maybe you're eating at Frontier Cochina. You're trying out a new place at Disney Springs that maybe doesn't have the same buzz, but maybe it'll become your favorite. Or maybe instead of eating at, say, a Garden Grill, maybe you're trying out Beer Garden at Epcot. I think the thing is, you shift and you give new opportunities a shot, and I think you can have a great trip. The biggest pitfall to fall into is comparing trip A to trip B. If you fall into that, you're gonna get in trouble. Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. And I feel like some people do that, and you're right, it is the biggest pitfall. Every trip is different. Even even when you're planning it, it's not going to go the way like you think it's going to go. I mean, when I planned my trip for, January, did I think it was going to rain and be cold the whole day on that one day? No, of course I didn't. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to Festival of the Arts and I'm going to get to do everything that I wanted to do. And I couldn't. The weather did not dictate that I was able to do that. I didn't get to paint on the wall like I wanted to do. I had to eat by the bathroom at the refreshment port to stay out of the rain on a water fountain, like those are not things that you dream about doing when you're planning your trip. But I still had a great trip, even though it wasn't exactly what I had planned in my head, even, while I was thinking about the trip to begin with. So you're going to have a great time if you, as Anthony says, you have realistic expectations. And I think that that's the best key advice right there.
All right. Last question of the day is coming from Terry. Hey, gang, we have a girls trip coming up in July. The lead guest on the reservation has Memory Maker with her annual pass membership. Does that mean the rest of us already have it as well, or does it need to be purchased separately for each guest? Any help would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, Terry. Okay. The key is your friend has an annual pass. Ricky, I see every one of your pictures when you go down. I see Scott. I see so many pictures. Probably
it's not even funny. Yeah.
So walk her through this. She's in business.
Yeah, you're just fine. As long as you guys are connected on the My Disney Experience app, website, you're gonna be just fine. I think the only issue might be if one of you is like in a different car on like an attraction or something like that. You might just want to have her tap at the where they have the pictures at the end, just to make sure that everybody's picture is included. But as long as she's the one who's getting the magic band scanned and stuff like that, or you're all connected with your magic bands, you should be just fine. So
yeah, if you want to connect through the friends and family option on the app. Yeah. And then you're golden. You have a Memory Maker. You'll see the pictures and yours will show up. All right. Well, it's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much, as always, for the great questions. Send those to Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. We pulled a majority of those today from the inbox.
A lot.
Yeah, it was great. So send those in. And of course, join us usually about 5:30 Eastern on Mondays, where we can answer your questions live as well. And we're going to get back to the once a month live call-in shows, which we did a couple weeks ago and had a great time with that. So always trying to make the podcast better here in 2019. We appreciate your support so much. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by our friends over at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News, Disney Edition. And of course, we're recording this one a little bit early. But Ricky, what kind of stuff do you find when you're going through Theme Park News Disney Edition?
If you want to be caught up with the latest and greatest of Walt Disney World or Disney in general news and information, like this is the place to go. Seriously, it's where I gather so much of my information from reading blogs that are found in this app. And so you're going to gain the same kind of, if you want to be like me and be as knowledgeable as I am about Disney, be like Ricky and read all the news in this app, because that's literally where I get my information from. So
be a blogger, be a world-class blogger right there. No, it's awesome. And they have of course Days to Go WDW. There's lots of other apps. There's a packing app. There's actually a calculator app. There's all kinds of stuff to turn your Apple device into a Disney device. So check them out today. Spend some time over there at virtualmickey.com. And again, when you buy anything on Amazon, hey, throw us a bone, help the show out. Go through beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon, and we sure appreciate that. We're going to ask you for one big favor this week. If you have a few minutes here, as we're at midweek, iTunes ratings and reviews really help with discoverability of the podcast. And of course, we got a lot of listeners. We got a big audience, but it never helps to get more friends involved in the show. So if you have a few minutes this week, we really appreciate it. Drop by iTunes, leave a few words, leave a star rating, and we thank you for doing that. And everybody that's done that, we have over 700 reviews. Thank you so much for that. But they do expire. That's the problem with doing the show for so long. So if you haven't done one in a few years, drop by.
The old ones where people don't like our show, they're getting off there. That's good. That's good.
But if you don't mind leaving us a rating and review, we'd sure appreciate that. All right, give us a follow on social. We're on Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestPod and at BeOurGuestMike. And of course, drop by the Facebook group at facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. All right, time to get out of here and let's get on with your midweek. We'll be back again on Friday with some more fun Disney talk. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike. Wish you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon. And there we go. Ooh, we got it with 3 minutes to spare to the top of the hour.
For what?
Nothing.
Oh.
I got a lot of stuff to do tonight, but
oh, okay. Nothing important.
No, but the Sunday night shows get me behind on things. But
gotcha, dude. Well, you sound like you're like you're gonna.
I'm trying not to sneeze. I'm like, whoa! I was trying to sneeze for like 15 minutes.
Every like 5 seconds.
I've been fighting that sucker for like 15 minutes. That's why I like the old days. We used to just do audio. I could do whatever I wanted.
That's right. That Mike can pick his nose without me giving a crap about it. This is the high quality stuff y'all come to the Facebook and YouTube feed for. Just saying. Cheers to you.
Until the end, you never know when Mike's finger will get stuck in his nose. Should I run the?
Why do you love us again? I'm not entirely sure.
I'm trying to decide. Should I run his Buzz Lightyear for the 10K on Saturday? Depends how hot it is.
I mean, it's not really princessy, but sure, why not?
Would a banana be rude? I have a banana costume.
Why
do you have I have a hot dog costume too.
Oh my gosh! Please don't run as a hot dog.
That'd be bad.
Although you could, that would be hysterical.
Well, I told Scott.
All right, we need to vote. What would you like to see Mike run as this weekend? Or wait, is it this weekend? Yeah, this weekend in Princess. So let us know.
Be shorts and a lizard shirt is what it's gonna be. Just like
in the comments whether you'd like to see him run as Buzz Lightyear, a hot dog, or a banana.
Joanne's be hot and humid. I'm thinking a t-shirt and shorts. I don't need to bust out the costumes. I'll save that for next year.
That's why you don't ask these questions. Just saying. Yes.
All right, I got to go to my nose doctor and get
go pick your nose. We'll see you later.
Get a little professional advice. All right, see you guys. Hope everybody has a good Monday night. See you, Ricky. I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.
All right, bye guys.